Hi, it's Nikki here from Energy and Emotion with Connected Conversations. I created this series really to connect with people who have inspired me and who inspire me, and hopefully will inspire you in some way. They come from all range of backgrounds, whether it's coaching, healing, artists. And today I'm going to be speaking with Leann Moore from America, who is a wellness coach. And I met Leann through a group on Facebook, Sam Crowley, about doing podcasts. And we both found that we're doing a very, very similar thing, that she interviews people and I interview people. So we'll be interviewing each other on two different separate shows. So I'm going to let her in and we'll see what she is going to inspire with today. Just waiting for her to come through now. She's just connecting. I love this moment as the treasure box opens and to find out who is behind the screen. I'm so excited to meet Leann today and to find what little nuggets of gold she can share with us. And here she comes. Hi, Leann. Hi.
My husband was getting ready to leave, so I was telling him goodbye.
That's okay. You know, I've just given you a little introduction about you just before you came on. And every time I was about to start, my cat started making, scratching in the cat boxes. I thought, okay, let's just wait a moment. So, I've just literally said that you're a wellness coach and that we met on the Sam Crowley page. And it's one I've just seen the fact that, yeah, you're starting up your interviews as well. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's been something I started a couple of years ago, and then life happened and I got busy because I still work full time for a hospital. So I'm always doing things on the side. I just got sidetracked and it kind of got put on the back burner. And then I realized that I really love learning about people and the curiosity. Yes. and then connecting. I'm really passionate about connecting people. So empowerment through connection is kind of go big with Leann, empowerment through connection, because in my life, and I think everybody could say this, I don't know if everybody realizes it, but without, being curious about things, I wouldn't have discovered all the amazing things I've discovered in my life. Sam Crowley being one of them, it was through a company I was involved in, and he did a presentation, and really there was like 8 presenters that day, and he was the only one that offered value, in my opinion, like real concrete value. So I was like always really respectful of him because of that. I'm like, out of all those people, all these great marketers, they just gave us a bunch of fluff, and he gave us practical guidance.
If anybody's out listening to there, get on to Sam Crowley, because it was my brother that introduced me to him, with Every Day is Saturday. And it was about 10 years, well, about 8 years ago, I think. I can't remember when. But Sam is great because he just tells it as it is. He doesn't pretend anything. He is what he is. And he's just so motivating. And his podcasts, that they're only short, they're only 10 minutes long, they really just get them out there.
Right.
And he's so natural. And yeah, he gives so much.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you've met him.
yeah, I have physically met him. It's probably been, I want to say 7 years ago. So I think that's fairly accurate, because Facebook reminds me of when I met people, I posted about it, and I'm like,
Facebook.
Thank you for Facebook, because I don't remember anything. But so it's just, and wellness has always been a big passion of mine. I was in the military for 21 years. And, so we had to kind of keep our health standards up. But when I first joined, I didn't go off to college, but I gained the freshman 40 in a summer when I was in the military, and they were going to put me on the chunky chicken program. And I was in an all male unit. So it was just me and one other female. And I'm like, I don't need any more attention drawn to me. So that day when they yelled across the room, hey, we're going to put Airman Hall on the chunky chicken program, because that was my maiden name, I said, I vowed to myself, this will never happen to me again. And so that was, I'm 53 now. So at like 18 and a half is when I was like, okay. And now it wasn't really pretty back then, but I've, come a long ways of realizing that, wellness is a personal responsibility. And so we all can, regardless of, your genetics, whatever you've got
Mhm.
going on, we all can do something every single day towards our body, mind, and spirit. So I like to really encourage people to focus on all of them, especially if they're really struggling with their weight and they're not getting any movement and they tell me they're doing all the right things. I say, well, you have some inner work to do then. You've got, so
Yes.
you're holding on to some emotions that
Yes.
preventing you from, and not everybody understands that. So that's kind of a concept that I try to, depending on who I'm working with, break it down to their level of understanding to help them go, yeah, maybe, maybe there are some things that I'm holding on to, some past regrets, some past grief, some past anger. So that's, and I'm in a big, I say gratitude saved my life, because about 12 years ago, I had a really traumatic situation happen with my son, and I was going to either sink or swim. And so a friend of mine was in a greeting card business, and I just was thinking about that. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'll send a card to someone every day. So for a solid year, I just wrote handwritten notes, or sometimes I did them on the
Oh,
computer.
wow.
Yeah, just whoever popped into my heart, I just wrote them a little note of how they impacted my life. And I did that selfishly. I admit that in the beginning it was all for me because I needed to keep my head above water. But it's had such a huge impact on my life. And still to this day, I have people say, Leann, that card showed up at the exact right moment.
Got tears in my eyes just thinking about that. That is just so beautiful. People say they'll do it, but to do it, for a week, do it for a month, do it for a whole year.
Right.
And this is the other thing as well. I think that through, our hard times, that's when, we end up helping so many other people through our own misery, if you like. It's that's so beautiful.
Yeah. And so I'm not as good at, doing the physical cards now, but I do try to write notes to folks and verbally, say how much they've impacted my life. I want to be the light in the world, because there's so much
Yeah.
craziness and darkness going on, especially now. And, and where I live right now, you have to wear a mask almost everywhere you go, but I've committed to, even behind my mask, I'm going to smile because you can see it in people's eyes.
Yes, you can. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to make eye contact. And, because it's like everybody's looking down now. And I don't know, it's a really surreal experience. But so I'm even more committed now to just this journey of empowering people and helping them along the way to regardless where they're at, you can do one thing, and even if it's the simple but powerful idea of gratitude,
Yeah,
because gratitude
yeah.
doesn't take any money, it doesn't take any time, and you can't worry and be in gratitude at the same time. It's
No,
physically
not possible.
impossible. Yeah.
Gratitude for me was the one thing that really got me out of so many things. I remember one time I was going through a really difficult part of my life, and I remember my car broke down, and I was fuming. It's like I had to get to work thinking, oh, I don't need this. I thought, okay, leave the car here, and I walked to the bus stop, and it was about, I don't know, a 15-minute walk, and I thought, okay, every step I take, I'm going to say thank you for something.
Right.
By the time I got to the bus stop, I was on an absolute high. I just wanted to hug everybody. It's like, this is the best thing. I'm so happy my car broke down. I
Right.
met people on the tram on the way, and it just changes your whole in that instant.
Right. Yeah. And I don't want to be Pollyanna about life, or, so it's that fine line of, I feel like I'm a very compassionate person. And I'm gonna hold your hand through whatever you're going through, but I'm not gonna wallow around in the victimhood of it, So I'm gonna do my best to, just be there for people, but not enable them to,
Yeah,
in that messy part of it. So and so some people can relate to that, and others, move out of my life, and that's fine, because not everybody's meant to be in my circle, I suppose. I'm,
no.
My military background, I kind of have a nickname of the inspirational drill sergeant, so I am, so I'm pretty direct with folks, but I tell them, I say, I want to be that one person in your life that was honest with you. That one person that cares enough about you, believes enough in you, that I will be honest. It may not be a comfortable conversation for either one of us, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I just let you keep going down this path that I know is not good for you. And so, I think, most people appreciate that. And it
Yeah,
takes extra courage and time on my part to, do that with folks. But, at the end of the day, I want to be able to lay my head down on the pillow and know that I did the best that I could that day for everybody that crossed my path. Because, our world is all about relationships and how we treat them. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed. I don't know why, because it's so impactful to me that even the smile that you give the cashier at the grocery store, that could be just enough that gives her enough hope to go home and treat her kids, with a smile.
Yeah.
So there's no big or small in this world. We like to label things, we like to measure things, we like to compare things, but at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but I've realized that most of the really impactful things in my life have been what other people would say, well, that was just a small gesture, Leann. I'm like, but it meant the world to me.
Yeah.
So I know if I've experienced that, then it has to be the same on the other end, right?
And I think it's often the smaller things that have the biggest impact.
Yeah. And
really.
I want people to remember that every day. There's a lot of stress and depression in the world, and I don't necessarily think that's going to get better right away.
Nah.
I think we're in a time where I feel like I've been called to do this work.
Yes. Yeah.
And my calling is even like there's no way I could turn my back on it.
Yeah, I totally get you on this. It's like, and when you do, it's like the universe, no, let's get you back on track. And it's, I was listening to a program one time on Empower Radio, and this person summed it up and said, I am a servant to my soul.
Yes.
And I thought that is exactly what I'm feeling. It's just like, I'm just being the body. I'll carry what's ever needed to be done. And, just take me there.
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, I think what we're going through, I think so many of us now are really realizing that it's not by chance we are where we are now and what we're doing for the people.
Right.
It's right on track.
Right. So I guess I've been being prepared for this moment.
Yes.
For all 53 years of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting. I look all the way back to when I was a little girl, and I just remember feeling such inspiration when I was able to, connect someone with a resource or a person or a friend, or, even I was my dad's bat girl for his softball team, even remembering the correct bat to hand to the gentleman, that was getting ready to bat, connecting him with his perfect tool, to be successful at home plate. And so it's just something that it's just always been there. And I've dabbled in a lot of things. So I know a lot about a lot of things, but I've never really wanted to be per se the expert in anything. So that's why I think the interviewing and being the speaker on, topics is just more about opening the door for people. But not being the, the science, I'm a Pisces, I fly by the seat of my pants, and, but I love people, and I love just opening their eyes just a bit, and then connecting them with someone that if they choose to, they can go deeper in that subject.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's, I'm having fun with it. People say, well, Leann, you got a lot on your plate. Why are you doing this? Well, because I don't have a choice.
No.
My soul doesn't have a choice.
Totally get. Well, my goodness, it's so funny that we connected on Sam's group.
Right.
Because I think we have a very, very similar way of looking at things, and the same for me for these interviews as well. That it's it was I'd always wanted at one point to write a book and to interview people in a book about different healers that I know and their method of healing. And then I started listening to Empower Radio, and I thought, wow, I'd love to do this of, interviewing people. And then at this moment, I realized that it's at the best moment is getting on video and doing it. And so many people are out there that have these nuggets of inspiration for all of us. Right. And each person I meet on this show, it's like opening a box of treasure.
Yeah, I love that.
And just before you're coming on, it's like, this is my favorite moment because I've never met you, and it's like, oh, what's in this box of treasure?
Yeah. That's so cool. Someone was like, "Do you even know this person?" I'm like, "No, that's the fun of it, you
That's
know."
the total
There's no,
magic of it.
yeah, that's the magic. And what are the chances that we happen to be on Facebook the same time?
Yeah,
That comment. So there's a reason behind every connection, in my opinion. It
totally.
doesn't always mean it's a meant to be forever connection. It's just in the moment connection, and
Yeah,
you cherish it, you enjoy it, you savor it, you honor it,
yes.
and sometimes you move on together, and sometimes you bless each other, and it may be 5 years again before we speak, or we may speak next week.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
And,
it. And the fact
and
that I think we connect, somebody somewhere else may get triggered by this conversation, and it triggers
right,
them something else.
yeah,
And that's, yeah, it's the whole beauty of it. And I was just sat there watching your interview that you did on in a few days ago, thinking, wow, this is amazing. It's like, oh, we're both in the same dream here.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I've got some. So next week I'm interviewing a couple that are students and teachers of the Course of Miracles, and I don't know if you've
Wow, that's
been
a good one.
studying it for 40 years, and I'm a fairly new student to it, so that's going to be really powerful. And then I've just recently started taking improv classes, which is way outside of my comfort zone. So my improv instructor is going to come on the following week, I think. And then I've got a radiologist, a doctor that's opening a wellness clinic, and she has a really powerful journey to wellness for herself and her company. And then a social media expert that I've got later in the month. So lots of cool things lined up, and then
Yes,
I'll fill it in as I go. I'm already booking for June, and we'll see what
that's amazing.
June looks like it's going to be maybe a month of like different therapists. That's how it seems to be panning out so far. So that was not necessarily intentional, but there's a lot of need for some guidance on mental
Yes,
health and things. So
yeah.
I thought that would be a great. I know May actually is Mental Health Month, but oh well, I'll just educate in June. I'll carry on that tradition. So yeah, so I'm enjoying the journey, and I'll, who knows what comes from the connections that I make along the way. And hopefully, like you said, that we open a door for someone, that
Yeah,
they
for
get to open
sure.
their own box of treasures and discover something about themselves that they didn't know was there. And that's, like improv, I discover a lot about myself that I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of interesting.
So
So,
what do you do on improvisation then? You said you're going to get you to improvise online? Middle of
oh,
interview? Oh my God.
I don't know. I do a lot of improvising anyways, impromptu, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure where that journey is going to take me, but what I found for myself in regards to that, it really puts you in the moment. You cannot be doing improv and thinking about your laundry or your stress. You have to be in the moment. So it's a great practice for me to kind of slow down my mind in a different way. I do a lot of meditation and things, but this is just kind of another way to practice being present. And also it really, my main reason for doing it was to really improve my communication skills. So to be a better listener, because you're always supposed to be making your partner look good. So you have to really listen and then lift them up in the next part of the conversation. So,
Wow.
so I just think that's so beautiful, because in life, it seems like we're always trying to take people down. So in improv, they're teaching you to always lift up your partner. And to me, it's been kind of a spiritual journey for me. And of course,
Yeah, I can
we've had to
imagine.
put everything on hold because of, I don't even want to say the word, but because of what's going on in the world, we can't meet, in live physical class. So she's doing stuff on Zoom, but yeah. So I'm excited. I'm just going to continue my path and see where this journey takes me, and what kind of amazing people I get to meet along the way. And yeah.
So what, now, because you're a wellness coach, so you help people like the physical, mental, financial. So what type of people do you get coming to you?
Well, so at my full-time job, I work for the hospital, and we do a good old-fashioned diet program, and we do the bariatric surgery, so the surgery for weight loss. So we get, very extreme cases and mild cases of overweightness. So that's what I do there. And then but I still try to incorporate, just really honoring this person as a person, being the person that will listen to them, respect them, and guide them along their journey. And I do some coaching there, but I have to work in my work guidelines there. So, but when I'm working with someone on my own that, meets me, and they want coaching
Privately.
from Leann, then I have a little more latitude of, what I can do with them and plug them into different resources. But again, I try to meet them where they're at and then move them to the next step of what seems right for them. So I don't do as much coaching I don't know. I think I'm probably always coaching people.
Yeah.
But hire for coaching, I don't do a lot of it because it's very time consuming to have a bunch of clients. So I usually will start off with someone, then refer them to people that can really give them the quality time, whether it's a therapist or a dietitian or somebody. But a lot of people are just looking for accountability. So, I mean, it's huge when we're working with someone and we have to check in with someone else. And it's kind of how we're wired as human beings. We want to perform well for someone else more so than we will for ourselves. And, a lot of people, they're looking for that magic pill. They want to be told what to do to some degree, but then they don't. So finding that balance of empowering people to take that responsibility of their life, of, having some rules around food and when you close the kitchen. And I don't take food through a window. I don't know if you guys have drive-throughs where you live.
Not so often, yeah.
But we have a ton of drive-throughs, and I haven't taken food through a window in over 10 years. So that means if I want to go eat food from other than my home, I physically have to go in, sit down and eat it, because I'm a big believer in being mindful about all our activities, but especially, if you're struggling with food, we want you to be, really mindful about it and think about it. And then also, that brings in gratitude as well. Where did that food come from? How it was prepared? What did the farmers, have to do? And, you just kind of think about the whole journey of the food. And then, trying to get people to eat a little bit of what I would call of more real food versus, all the packaged food. So because there's so much value in preparing your food.
Exactly.
Down, you're working with your hands, and then especially if you involve your family and you teach your kids. I mean, it's a life skill. It builds so much confidence in yourself and your children. And then you sit down at the table and you have that conversation, and get to know each other again. So I guess in some ways I'm really, I'm very simple and practical in my coaching. I don't go into all these theories of whatever. I'm going to break it down, because when someone starts going into like, oh, you need to eat 20% of this, blah, 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 blah.
I know.
It just shuts completely down. So
Yeah.
how about if we just do some basics, So
yeah.
I break it down to, kindergarten level things that, feel good to me and that people can easily embrace in their life. Because people always say, well, Leann, what diet's going to work for me? And I don't like the word diet, but diet really is just the food we eat. I said, well, what lifestyle will work for you is the one that you will do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so let's be honest with ourselves and ask, that would be the first question. What are you willing to do? What kind of sacrifices are you willing to make? What kind of time management things are you willing to change? What are you willing to do? And let's start there, and let's start small so we can build some momentum. And let's, not worry about the scales right away. I care about you as a person. Let's get you feeling better about yourself. Let's get some momentum going. Let's set some basic ground rules and have fun with it.
I live in France. I've lived here for 20 years, and you just see to what point food is such an integral part of their life. Yeah. Nearly everybody has a vegetable plot. If they don't, then there's somebody who does, like their grandparents will, give them the fresh food or whatever. Everybody sits down for a meal. There's very few drive-ins. There's only McDonald's. That's the only thing that's a drive-in. And my children grew up seeing me and seeing their French grandparents preparing the food, sitting around the table and doing the vegetables together. And they've grown up with this love of food and cooking. And to see the French sit down at table, I mean, their meal will last for 2 or 3 hours on Sunday.
Wow.
you can literally spend all that time just talking about the food.
Wow.
And
That's what a cool experience. That is not how it is in the United States.
no.
And if my son is watching this, I wasn't the best, we ate at home a lot, but it might have been fish sticks and, macaroni and cheese. So I didn't do the best job of nutrition when I was raising the kids. I was a single parent for a good chunk of that time. So, but we did eat at home. We ate at the table, we sat together. And so there's so much value. And where we live, you would be shocked if you came to my city. There is a fast food, I swear, every 100 yards. I mean,
Oh my God.
I mean, there is restaurants, fast food on every single corner.
Oh my God.
I'm not exaggerating.
I mean,
And
here where I live in, it's, a small city compared to what, the ones in America are. But, they're probably about, I don't know, there's about 4 or 5 McDonald's, there'd be a couple of Burger Kings. I think there's probably 2 Kentucky.
yeah.
And I think, yeah, I mean, with the French anyway, it's just not, I mean, even in I don't know about in America, but the French McDonald's, you can have beer, you can have wine, there's salads, there's always salad, that there's fruit purees and that there's fresh fruit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I want to come visit you.
But, there is all the rest of it as well, but they do try, I think they had to adapt it to the French market.
Yeah.
But it's so, and you see how it's such an integrated part of society.
Yeah.
It's going now. I can see it beginning to loosen because obviously, work and everything else, people
Right.
need that. They've got less time, but it's there.
Yeah. So that's one thing, I try to just encourage people to, set aside some time to, make a grocery list, go buy your food, do a little bit of meal prep on Sundays. It doesn't mean you have to become a gourmet chef or anything, but just, be curious in the kitchen, try some new spices. And the first gal I interviewed was, Krista from Eat Real America. And so that's her passion, is getting people to be in their kitchen. And so, it's a great thing for people to do. And even if you only do it once a week, that's a good start. So my wellness kind of, is all about practicality and meeting people where they're at, and then encourage them to work on the mind, body, and soul, not just the body, so.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, when people get like these fad diets where you say like the 20%, people, you can do it for a few weeks.
Right.
But what's going to happen at the end of it? It's a whole lifestyle you're looking at. It's not just this single moment.
Yeah. People tell me, well, Leann, I've tried everything. And I always say, well, you just didn't do it long enough. You didn't embrace the new lifestyle. And that's perfectly normal, because our habits are very, it's a deep rut in our brain.
Yeah.
And so our brain is wired to always go to what's comfortable and what's familiar. And so it's always going to revert back to your old ways, especially in stressful moments. You may be practicing a new habit for 5 years, and then something major really happens in your life and you start smoking again, or whatever it is.
The trigger.
How did that happen? So you just, you have to be really mindful of how the brain is wired. The brain, the ego, is always trying to trick us and take us down a path that is not beneficial for us. And most people don't have that understanding, but I think when they realize that, they're like, yeah, you're right. So I always say, just tell that brain, no, you're not taking me down that path today. I'm
in the driving seat.
Yeah, I'm in the driver's seat today. And, create the pause button, in your mind, just visualize, hitting the pause, and you get to make a conscious decision, and if you choose to eat the cake, then own it. Don't complain that you're not seeing results. Just own that you ate the cake and be happy with who you are.
It's pretty sad about making a decision. I saw, I don't know, some TV, I can't remember what it was, but somebody said that the best thing that they ever did for making decisions is you count down, you go 3, 2, 1. Yep. And he says, when you get to that thing, I'll make the other decision.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just passionate about the, empowering the individual and making that connection. So hopefully, my journey of the interviews and your journey of the interviews will bless people along the way, open a door for them, and then the rest is upon them.
Yeah, it is. It's a two-way thing. You're not giving them the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The magic is within all of us. There's no need to search for it. Someone may just need to dust it off for you. So hopefully you and I can be the little magic fairies that are dusting off their treasure boxes, so they know what's inside of themselves.
I love that image. little feather duster, ding ding.
Yep, we're waking them up, you know.
Little tickle under the chin.
Yeah, we need more people to step into their greatness right now. We really, as a society, as a world, you know, the more of us that can step into that true nature of ourselves and really do what we're all meant to do here, and that's different for everyone. You know, and that's another reason why I'm really extra passionate about it right now, is because we all gotta do our part.
Totally. And I've just started a group on Facebook called the Circle of Inspired Women on a Mission. And it's really about this, that, you know, I think a lot of people are now at a crossroads where they realize that the life they had before, it's not really where they want to be. And they know they can feel their soul calling, but they don't know quite what it is, but they know it's there.
Yeah.
And it's so important to clear that path and to show them on the way.
Right. And if someone would ask me, 5 years ago, would I be doing what I'm doing today, I probably would have said no, so when you start your journey, just realize, don't be too attached to the end game, because most likely it's going to look totally different than you ever imagined. And most likely it'll be way better than you could have ever imagined, so that's the beauty of it. You're just, take those steps, take some action. And, the only way you learn is by moving. If you sit still and you're just sitting in your little rut, there isn't going to be any ahas or any growth from that. But if that's what you choose to do, that's okay. No judgment. I'll support people wherever they're at. But if you feel that little calling, there's no wrong action.
No, not at all. There's just an action.
Yeah, just an action. So
I remember one time I asked, for the powers to be, I asked if, for help, because I was a difficult moment in my life, and they told me, let go of the handlebars. And it's just about, what you were saying, the fact that, that they told me to pedal, obviously keep going the action, but let go. It is because you're trying to go one way and we're trying to make you go the other way, and you're going to end up falling off.
Yeah.
And I think that was so poignant, because, we all think that this way is going to be the right way.
Yeah.
Our soul has something completely different, and we just have to completely let go and just put in the action, just keep moving forward and keep that energy going.
Yeah. 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 And the world, I believe that we will look back on this year of 2020.
Wow.
And I mean, nothing's going to be the same.
No.
And so it's a great in my opinion, I believe it's a fantastic, most beautiful opportunity for if we as individuals, and I'm choosing to step into that beautiful opportunity of what I can create out of this experience. So that's the stance I'm going to take. So
how has it changed you?
I'm still going to work every day. So, but what it's done, somehow it's relaxed my mind. It's like I'm on vacation. I don't know how to explain it, but really, I can't go to my gym, which I really like going to my infrared sauna workout thing, but I've been outdoors more riding my bike, and which is what I would do this time of year anyways. But my brain is moving a little bit slower, so I can be just more present.
Yeah.
And I can take more time to study my spiritual practices, because I'm not driving to the gym and spending all that time there. And so I can do a little bit, and it's just been really also helped me be just way more mindful of how important connections are within my circle, within my family, and then maybe even kind of not trying to reach out. I still want to reach out to everybody and put it out there, but also just know that to value each relationship for what it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
So in a way, it really hasn't, like I've been blessed to still be able to go to work and things like that. So it's just been a mental shift, a shift.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I made this decision to study the Course in Miracles in January. It's a year-long intensive course that me and my husband are doing. And I think that even just the 3 months, that we had been into the study really prepared me for what's going on in the world. So, I mean,
Goodness.
I wouldn't have been as prepared as I am. So I'm grateful, because I was hesitant. I didn't really want to take the year-long study because I had just got done with another year-long study the year before. And I'm like, oh, do I really want to do this? And my other half was like, no, I really think we should do it. And I'm like, okay, we're doing it. and it's been quite amazing.
And
So
just the right timing,
yes, yeah, just the right timing. Yeah. So it's all a beautiful work of art that's unfolding, and the colors are being added, and the lines are being added as I go, and yeah, it's just a beautiful journey.
So there's two questions I often ask people on this show. The one thing, first thing is, I work a lot with emotion. That's the base of everything I do. So what are emotions for you? How do they fit into your business? And the other thing is, do you have a big dream?
So how do emotions fit into my business?
Yeah.
Well, I've learned, so I was programmed to be the happy child of the family. And so I didn't really know how to experience any emotion except happiness. And, then you join the military, and, I'm just, so it kind of just really, took me over. And I love that I've embraced my happiness, but so I've made a conscious decision within my business to embrace all emotions.
Yes. Yeah.
Anger, sadness, grief, joy, all the extremes, and show myself grace and not judge them. Just let them come up and be okay with them, and cry if I need to. And they don't mean anything. They're just feelings that need to be released.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, and then a big dream. Ooh.
Did you have a dream when you were young?
Well, this is really funny. I wanted to be a clown in a traveling circus.
So I guess, the clown is the happiness, bringing happiness into people's lives.
Yeah.
And the freedom with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess my big dream is to bring as much joy to as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And
that is your clown.
The simple smile, a simple, let them feel that spot in themselves that they maybe have never allowed to feel. So
yeah, exactly. And it's that little just spark of joy, of happiness, and we come back to the smile. Sometimes that is the I see homeless people, and people just go by and ignore them, but if you smile at them, they've actually been acknowledged. They exist.
Yeah.
They're not just something that's, going around on the street. They exist, and it's probably the only smile they've seen maybe for a week.
Right. And I used to have the big dream of all the financial stuff, and I don't, money's important, and we all need it to survive. But, truly my dream is just to be a blessing in someone's life. So.
That's wonderful. And that's how we change the world.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for, allowing me to be on your show.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a real pleasure. It's lovely to know you.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll chat again, and, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows where this journey will take us.
Lovely. I'd love to be on your show as well.
Yeah,
we'll do a tit for tat. I'd love it.
Yeah. I'll get you on the schedule, because I think what I've learned a little bit about you, you'd be a good fit for June.
I think so.
Yeah.
Fit me in the June month.
Yeah. So we will get back together on that, and you just have a beautiful, amazing day, and keep doing it.
You too as well. Thank you so much, Leann. Absolutely brilliant. Have a fantastic day. Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.